Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer. Hey, Jupiter stopped in the sky. Yes, it's stationed. Changed direction. Just 3 days ago for you. Ho, ho, ho. Ha, ha, ha. Haven't you been laughing more? Haven't you had lightning bolts of insights? Like wise lawyer and professor, Jupiter graces us all with his wisdom. It's going strong now, so I hope you noticed. Now, the other interesting thing in your experience and mine is we just had a new moon. Yeah, 20 Cancer. It opposed Pluto. Pluto, huh? When we had a problem with Pluto in the last 20 years, I would bring out the shark. Also, the song, When the Shark Bites, and there'll be shark scares. Mostly it's a feeling of panic. So we call it eek, a bug. Yeah, eek, a bug. You know, you get that feeling of there's this little bug crawling around. It's got this instant panic. Well, that's what everybody has a little bit of that, you know, as we go through this next month. Because the new moon opposed Pluto. We're not happy with Pluto. We don't like bugs. We don't like sharks. We don't like guns. We don't like pollution. We don't like police. There's going to be a whole bunch of things. Pluto is going to irritate the hell out of us. Bad smells. Walked out my neighborhood. A neighbor put a sign up. You know, when I walk my dog, I pick it up. Why don't you pick it up for your dog? The battle of the dog shit out on the streets. Pluto. Ha 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 ha. Mercury retrograde period coming up. Starts July 26th. Goes for 3 weeks. Clean out the old drawers. Don't sign papers unless you're willing to sign them twice. Okay, this is about earthquakes. This is a man called Dutch. All you got to do is YouTube Dutch, D-U-T-C-H. Write it down. S-I-N-S-E, since. Dutch, since, one word. And you'll get this amazing guy. He does it all by himself, you know. And he's picked up the fact that earthquakes travel in lines. He's noticed. He doesn't know it's because of the astrocartography. But he's got a real handle on quakes. And he does a report every day. And it's a big island is really featured. He's getting into our geology. He did a whole trip the other day on why a big chunk of the big island isn't going to fall off. And he shows it to you. His graphics are great. This guy is a genius. Dutch Since. Write it down. YouTube his name. Subscribe. Make it a regular thing to check out. Yeah, Dutch is a kindred spirit. He's into volcanoes. He shows you pictures, and well, you just got to go to the website. I can't describe. Here's the thing about our volcano. The next, let's call it episode, that brings Pele to our attention, may start with VOG and SO2 issues around Hilo as early as August 4th, and kicks in with displays of Pele fountains and stuff after August 17th. There's a 3/4 moon, a 1/4 moon, and it's hitting our big island, and it's setting all Pele off. So, yes. Oh, by the way, next hurricane looks like around October 24th. Looks like it's going by Kauai. Yep. Yeah, going by the west side, near as I can tell, of Kauai. And it's going to trash some homes. So this is going to be enough to make you want to keep your camping gear around. Let's look at it day by day. You got the planetary pattern. Venus is at 4 Virgo. She's kind of sober right now, trining Saturn. It's nice. She got her head a little bit. Towards the end of next week, she opposes Neptune She's had enough of all this alcohol and drinking and drugs and vogue and things, and she's a little confused. Anyway, Jupiter is stationing lightning bolts of truth. Hooray. Oh, it's noticeable in Jupiter's stations. He's pretty happy. He trines Neptune. There's going to be information about the priest, artist, doctor, musician. I know that when Neptune stopped, June 18th, the Pope came out. Sure enough, the Pope is Neptune, represents Pisces religion. So he comes out every time Neptune stations. What's it like day by day? We're going to run the moon around the edge here. And as it makes angles to these angels, these denizens of the sky, it kind of makes the mood of the time. It's not your chart now. It's a generic chart. And here on Thursday you hit the new moon. Yes, Thursday morning. Opposing Pluto, eek, a bug. You have pick out your favorite target. Is it ants? Is it mosquitoes? Is it termites? You know, there's a thing going on. The termite companies know when the termites swarm like we do. We know when the jellyfish come in after the lunation. And just when the termites are swarming, these are dry wood. They come into your house. They're not going to bother the house much. Any cheap wood you have that has water in it, they'll get in there and eat out the wet wood. They only eat wet wood. They're not really a big problem. But people freak out. Oh, eek, a bug. And they have the whole house tented. Everything in it killed. Stuff seeping out of the woodwork into your lungs for a long time. It's a baloney thing. And they catch you right as all those termites swarm. And they fly around and get in your house. Ooh. And it's a scam. They make money predicting termite swarms. So, Thursday night you're still in that new moon zone. And pick out your Pluto target, whatever it is you want to handle. And go for it. Friday you're still feeling that new moon. But it actually gets a little weird because here's Uranus stepping into the mix. And the moon squares Uranus. That's about noontime. And the battery power went out. There's a lot of nurturing in the afternoon. The moon goes by the north node. But people get angry and upset in the evening. Here's the moon opposing Mars. Doggone it. Everybody gets hot under the collar. Ask yourself what you're protecting. You know, and let the guy have a rage. Young people need to rage a little bit. I would if I was in their shoes. What they've been left by the worldly powers. Here's a square to Jupiter. We're not happy with the rich people. Jupiter could laugh and be jolly and all of that, but, you know, come on, folks. His pockets are full of your money. You'll see that Saturday morning and not be happy. Middle of the day, Saturday, the moon goes by Mercury. And here the kids are happy. Your mind works better. Yeah. And feels pretty good, actually. Talk, walk, move around, get outside. Thursday, the moon, Saturday, moon's in Leo. A lot of action. Continues through just before lunch Sunday, the moon switches into Virgo, right here. And once it does, all the vibes change. You're in the Venus zone. Hooray! Starts with some brotherhood here. Sunday in the middle of the day, the moon trines Uranus. Genius pops out. Oh boy, neat stuff. And there's a trine to Saturn. We can do this. This is practical. There's money and there's time. And we got the engineering down. Great stuff. And then finally there's a sextile to Jupiter. That happens real late Sunday night, actually Monday morning, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's Jupiter. Says, yep, great idea. Let's find a rich guy, get some capital, and get going. Ha 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 ha. Of course, here's Venus, too. Venus is going 4 to 15, so Venus is back here. Oh, there's sweetness, sex, love, profit. Sunday is quite a day, starting with Uranus. And then, oh, there's Venus in there. Huh? So first, before lunch, we got brotherhood and the zap of high consciousness. And then sweets and sex and lovely stuff and pretty girls with Venus. And then a trine to Saturn. We got the budget. We're well organized. Happens after lunch. And finally, late Sunday, early Monday morning. Aha! Now we see it clear. The whole thing with a sextile to Jupiter. Very nice. You know, moon in Virgo. Gets confusing Monday just before lunch. Here's the moon squaring Neptune. There's some delusion going. Oh, it opposes Neptune, excuse me. So we're not happy with priest, artist, doctor, musicians. Fishy stuff going on here. Probably the lawyers told the truth early Monday morning. Watch your news. And some person who thinks they're special is going to be embarrassed before lunch Monday. Neptune, boo! Discovery happens after dinner Monday night with a nice trine to Pluto, which continues right through Tuesday morning. Moon still in Virgo. Sextiles the sun. We got a plan. We're getting moving. We're getting going. Feels good Tuesday morning. And then before lunch, the moon shifts into Libra. It starts getting a little tighter because you're approaching the square to Saturn. Dinner time, just after dinner. Wait a minute, we got slowed down. We feel old. We don't have enough. Just an hour or two after that, though, there's a nice trine to Mars. All we got to do is do some work, get physical, be protective. So first there's depression with Saturn. Then there's action with Mars. That's what Tuesday night's about. Wednesday, the moon's still in Libra. It's fine until you get to Wednesday night after dinner when the moon squares Pluto. Eek, a bug! Here you've got the lunation now. So this is serious stuff Wednesday night. The shark bites, the dog bites. You bite. You growling at people? Biting? Are you using expletives a lot in your language? S-H-I-T? Well, the moon's squaring Pluto with the lunation on it. Whew. Not a good time for being a policeman, no. Or an investigator. Wednesday night. You'll hear it in the news Thursday morning. You know, square to the sun, you won't be happy with what you see Thursday morning. It's just part of the problems. Here's the moon opposing Uranus. The moon goes into Scorpio, middle of the day Thursday, and opposes Uranus. Not happy with the media, batteries, electricals, things that go around are failing. Thursday's a tough day. Don't expect that things will be easy. And late Thursday night, 1 or 2 in the morning, actually Friday morning, here's the square to Mars. Everybody's angry and impatient. This is a recipe for accidents here. Oops, wasn't watching the screen. Sorry. The recipe for accidents, you know, because you're not doing very well Thursday morning with your plans. You're a little shaky yourself with this moon squaring the sun, and then electrical things and engineering problems and machines go awry, and there's glitches and interruptions Thursday night, and finally a temper tantrum late Thursday night. Look out. Moon's in Scorpio. Friday in the middle of the day, though, it goes by Jupiter. Ha ha, ho ho. Optimism comes up. We can forget about what happened Thursday, can't we? Let's just go on. Where's the clowns? Bring out the clowns. Let's have some truth and wisdom. Feels good Friday afternoon and evening. Good for artistic stuff. There's a nice sextile to trine to Neptune. So this is a good time to study art, music, religion, unseen things, spirituality. Spirit means things that aren't seen physically. That's who you are. You're the spirit in that body. And you're exactly the same as you are 8 years old or 3 years old as you are now. Take a look inside. Who are you? exactly the same. That spirit, the unchanging spirit. Some call it soul. A lot of misnomers about it. But that's the real Neptune. It's unseen. You can't see it. Hope it's spirit, not ghosts. Discovery happens late Friday night, early Saturday morning. This is 2 in the morning. And there's a sextile to Pluto. What did those police do? Well, it must have been okay. Here you got lucky and you didn't get in there with the shark. Saturday morning early. Mercury got in trouble, though. The kids aren't happy. So there's going to be some yelling children here Saturday morning, the 21st of July. I hope they straighten that out down there on the border. Whew. Sunday night or Saturday night, here's a nice trine to the sun. Let's get that job done, huh? Let's be heroes. On Sunday, the moon's in Sagittarius, and it makes a nice sextile to Mars. We've got a good plan Sunday morning, and we can execute it physically during the middle of the day Sunday. Get out there and be a hero. Here, let's talk Pluto. This is all about killer asteroids. Recently announced in the last couple of days, NASA planetary defense officer came out and said, "We are implementing the National Near-Earth Object Preparedness Strategy and Action Plan, and that will greatly increase our nation's readiness. And we're working with international partners to effectively respond should a new potential asteroid impact be detected." Well, hooray, finally they decided we needed a little defense. Okay, so here's a little secret. Back about 10 years ago, I got into asteroids, and they announced a particular asteroid, 2N7, and they announced exactly when it would hit, or be a near miss, very close. And that turned out to be February, 1st of February, 2019. Now this was a long time ago to me, and I thought, I don't even know if I'll live that long. When I did this, must have been 15 years ago. And so I marked it in the ephemeris, and here it is. And now I remember why. The reason why was because Saturn, which has to do with fear of being crushed, Saturn's in Capricorn, and it moves up here in Capricorn, it hits 15 degrees. Turns out there's an eclipse in Capricorn. Yes, the eclipse is at 15 degrees. Now, so what this means is Saturn is falling into an eclipse in Capricorn, and it's doing it at exactly the time when 2N7 makes its impact or very close flyby. And what this means to me is that people are scared. They're really scared here. On the 2nd of February, they don't know whether it's going to disrupt things or not. That probably means, I went back and I did a few months before this. They started getting this shit together, pardon me, and Pluto. And how are they going to do this? Well, they blow it up, little bits and pieces hit. It could be good in the ocean, but they deflect it, use atom bombs. What do? Who's prepared? So they tried, and they tried back at the end of 2018, and now they're down to just shooting at it as it comes up close to the Earth, and shoot a few nukes at it and hope it nudges it aside a little bit. How much aside? We don't know. That's why we're all scared, really scared, of 2N7 on February 2nd, 2019. That's not that far off, Yes, it's not that far off. Something completely different. I was discussing Bishop Estate, the largest, most rich trust in the world, and how Princess Ruth Ke'ili Kolani put it together. Her and Bernice. Bernice married Bishop. Bishop got it. And it's questionable now. So my good friend Harold Metzer, he gave me this. It's the will. Yes, the will. And what it says is, I direct my trustees to expend such amount they may deem best, not to exceed, however, 1/2 of the fund which may come into their hands in the purchase of suitable premises, the erection of school buildings, and furnishing the same with the necessary and appropriate fixtures, furniture, and apparatus. I direct my trustees to invest the remainder of my estate in such manner as they may think best, and to expend the annual income in the maintenance of said schools, meaning thereby the salaries of teachers, the repairing of buildings and other incidentals, and to devote a portion of each year's income, you ready for this, to the support and the education of orphans and others in indigent circumstances, giving preferences to Hawaiians of pure or part Aboriginal blood. The proportion in which said annual income is to be divided among the various objects above mentioned to be determined solely by my said trustees. They are to have full discretion. The trustees of Bishop Estate are supposed to be putting money into homeless and I can't say the word. Anyway, there it is. It's in the will. I don't think they're following the will. Thank you, Harold. I got a whole stack of stuff to share with you, but as always, not enough time. Look, we got a volcano going off. My two friends, a domestic goose, a domestic raven. The Nene is doing great. The Nene went to the golf courses. It eats grass. It's all over golf courses, all over the islands. It's going to survive no matter what. Here's my other friend, the smartest bird in the world. There's probably 90 of them left in the whole world. The ravens are the smartest birds. This is the smartest raven. It's Hawaiian. It was domestic. Cook said 200,000 people lived along the Kona coast. The most common house pet was a large black bird. Domestic, kind, gentle raven. Would clean the bones off your garbage, keep the rats and the centipedes out, and be your friend and talk. The most common house pet was a large black bird. Look, folks, the most common house pet, 200,000 people? Whoa! There was a lot of these birds. Of course, Hawaiians all died. These guys took off to into the hills. They died up there quick. Time endangered species people came along. Not many left. So now they're releasing them into the wild. No, they're evicting them from their homes, thinking they're wild. They're not wild, they're domestic. We need to save this bird, the smartest bird in the world. They took the bite out. Everybody should have one of these birds. Now, here's the kicker. The place where they're keeping these birds at the Keauhou Bird Conservation Center is only 3.7 miles, I think, from the volcano, north of the volcano. We got all the birds in one place. Reminds me, in World War II, they put all the planes in a circle, keep them safe from saboteurs. When the Japanese came in to bomb Pearl Harbor, they were all neatly gathered. It was easy to knock all the planes off because they're all in a little circle. We got all of our ravens in one spot. That's not very smart. It's right next to the volcano. I don't know what's happening there. Do you know? Anybody know? Email me, rollinfrost@yahoo.com. I need to know. I'm really worried about my friends. Ah la la. I should make it plain. There's a cover-up going on 2N7, yes. They're not talking about the asteroid at all. When I did the work before, they kept it secret. They're working on it the last 6 months of this year. And, you know, they don't want to panic everybody. But the panic happens, the 2nd of February anyway, because their last-minute efforts to deflect it aren't sure. They don't know how far the deflection went. If there's enough distance to keep the asteroid from making big problems on our Earth. So there's a cover-up. Nobody's talking 2N7. That's why that article, they're getting organized, trying to look for help all over the world. That's what that article was all about. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged from the way its animals are treated. Gandhi. Okay, here's the moon, some astrocartography that got some of this started. What's that? Well, I've been to McAllen, Texas, in the young days when I was working in the oil fields. It's right down here. And that's where they're storing all these kids. I mean, the way we treat our animals is one thing, but we're abusing children in this country, Mr. Trump. Yeah? I mean, come on, what's going on? Well, the moon was on Neptune, and we had a lot of lost mothers, and a lot of dramas over mothering, and that's where it was. And it got real heavy around the 18th of June. Lost mothers everywhere, and it goes right down through here. Okay, you just had a new moon, July 12th, and it opposed Pluto, huh? And I'm going to run through the hot spots for you. First of all, here's Rio de Janeiro, and it runs right through there. Yeah, Rio, right smack through it. So you'll see stuff happen. Public threats, bombers, epidemics, things of that nature. Here's another one, runs up through the volcano country, Pluto's volcanoes. But what gets me is it's running right up through Tokyo. And you're gonna see some stuff in the news there from Tokyo. Pluto on the descendant runs up through Africa. Mogadishu. I mean, there's been a lot of gun battles there, huh? Yemen, right through there. Yep. And then up through some very sensitive places here. Same line runs up through Istanbul, Bucharest, Romania, Krakow, Poland, all the way up through here. Panic, eek, a bug. Weapons, bombers. Here's the important one. Runs through the border, San Diego, up through the big Hoover Dam, Las Vegas. Yeah. Another line, Uranus, saying shaking, earthquakey, all the way through the Bay Area and through here.